Hi, everybody. Thanks to the generosity of John Houlihan, we're having a Halloween contest. 5 winners will receive the Trelleborg Monstrosities novella with the Trelleborg Monstrosities Call of Cthulhu adventure. 5 other winners will receive the Trelleborg Monstrosities novella with the Trelleborg Monstrosities Savage World adventure. All you have to do is email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com with your favorite Call of Cthulhu story. It can be something you played through or a story you read. Just tell us about your experience. And 2, you need to go over to facebook.com/Trelleborg Monstrosities, TRELLBORG Monstrosities, and like the Facebook page. The contest will run through November 1st at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're looking forward to reading all of your entries.
You were telling me about something involving in England and beer.
In merry old England, they used to serve beer in pint and quart.
It comes in pints.
Yards, right. And what they would do is they would, you'd order a pint of whatever and another pint of whatever and a quart of whatever, and you'd stack them all up, and at the end of the night, they would count your glasses, and that's how much you would owe. And one of the general knavery maneuvers would be to finish your glass, set it down, and slide it down the bar into the other pile of the dudes next to you. Hence the phrase, mind your P's and Q's, your pints and quarts, so that this guy doesn't slip one into your pile and you end up paying for more than you actually drank.
Masks of Gnarltep is set in the 1920s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It is not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to the Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. Join us each week as our investigators follow a path of clues and attempt to save the world from an ancient evil. Starring John Quiet, Justin Kimmett, Shirley Nedswicki, George Chipples, Jason Hall, and Scott Troiano, with me, Matt Quiet, running the table as the Keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi, and welcome to Nerds Domain presents Masks of Gnarltep. I'm here once again with Shirley.
Hello.
Scott.
Hello.
Jason.
Hello.
George.
Howdy do.
John.
Hi.
Justin.
Yo.
And I am Matt. If you guys have been catching up, this will be episode 17, and we are currently on a boat. Yeah, I know, I number episodes like that.
Does that mean we've done 16 of these?
What did you start at 22 and work back?
Oh, no, character creations counted.
Oh, okay.
I
was like, what the hell did I
This
miss? What day is it?
This will be episode 1835. We are in the future. No, it's episode 17. So let's talk about what's going on. Currently, we're on a boat. I just want to warn the players and the listeners. New York was like a danger level 5.
On a scale of
Well,
Mythos goes up to 99.
if I remember correctly, 11. You want to go to 11 because it's more than 10. It's 11, so it's even higher.
Really?
It's a Spinal Tap reference.
I
I
understand
think you
that,
got it wrong,
but
though.
you did, but that's okay.
So no, this was a 5. London will be a full 10.
What?
Awesome.
we are
There
so
are
screwed.
there are potential for you to just lose a character. I'm warning
It's all
you.
right, everybody.
It will be
I'm armed now.
It will be roll your resistance, and it's gone. So keep that in mind.
What is your resistance?
London gets
Do I have
worse.
resistance?
So let's not look at
Whatever.
things
Yeah.
in the bottoms of wells.
Yeah, no shit.
Passports. Who picked up their passport? I'm going
I
to let you have this.
carry it with
You
me.
do because you're from another country,
Right.
But I would bet the 3 non high class people they don't have passports. But I will let this one slide.
I would have highly loved that one. No.
Please.
Up there.
I was in the war, dude.
War doesn't require a passport. You're in war.
I'm pretty sure that you get a passport when you're involved in... No?
My
No,
dad did.
because you're just violating people's boundaries.
That's
and-
the whole.
and the
I
army
mean, it's
sent
kind
you
of
there.
war. Okay, so I'm going to let everybody
Okay.
have their passport. That's not a problem. However, at this point in time, I'm going to remind you: you need to let me know where it's at. If you don't say I have it, and your hotel burns down, guess what? You don't have it. So, and I'm not talking about just passports. I'm talking about all of the great and wonderful things you've picked up, ammo, clothes.
So
some houses are burning.
Get transferred.
No, your car will not have been transferred. Which is good because you couldn't really drive it in England.
Okay.
Other side of the road.
You can still drive it. People bring cars.
No, they don't.
Not-
Rich people don't do that.
I think that's the definition of what rich people do, right?
Rich people hire drivers.
Well, that's a good point as well.
So that's where I'm leaving you guys. I've got one last thing to do to get us into the game. But Johnny, you had a question?
Well, I was listening to our podcast because I do listen to what we produce.
So that is our one listener?
Yeah.
Wow.
Book.
I was talking. Jason, go ahead. Ask a question.
And we had someone following Miss McCree out of her, away from her theater, and I had put in a call to find out who owned the car,
The
who
license
it was
plate.
registered to, and we forgot to check in before we got on a boat. Is there any way we could rectify that problem?
You will have to call from London. It's been
There's
about a week and a
telegraph.
half. Not on the boat.
Yes, there is.
Not wireless currently.
I'm sure we can get it.
Isn't there a guy in the back just working a reel with a big old long cable back in it?
Can't we release carrier pigeons?
The wire.
So it's
would
not
have
the
to-
rich people boat.
The wire would have to be taut, and it is not
I'm-
taut.
Then
Don't.
remediated. Okay, go ahead.
Matt, I will get my carrier pigeon ready for him to tie his note on it.
Do you seriously have carrier pigeons?
Yeah, it's right here on my character sheet.
That would be cool as hell.
That would be cool.
When was that?
I know,
When was the Titanic?
1920.
I don't believe there's wireless telegraph.
Didn't they receive a telegraph warning them of icebergs in transit?
Yeah, but that's the Titanic. We're not on the Titanic. Are we on the Titanic?
That would be awesome.
If the Titanic had
Oh,
wireless
It's
transmission,
That could have been radio from another ship, so
Well, and that
I'm
could
not
have
sure
been,
myself how it would
and that could have been the Titanic being the greatest of all naval vessels that was ever
Yeah.
built at the time, and
They
we're
made
not
an
on
effort.
that.
Yeah.
What is
I
the
see.
If
I
I
think he's
remember,
right. I think
if I
both-
remember
both
correctly,
in
it
the
was
case.
more of it was a radio transmission
Bless you.
from either another
Alright.
ship or from naval,
I can accept
that kind of stuff, but not a full-on
Not
telegraph.
a full-on
Yeah.
telegraph.
I
That's-
raised my hand in question.
Yes, that's fine. Go ahead.
What's the name of our ship?
I gave that to you.
The
We did in the
minimum.
last podcast. Go back and listen to episode
There's
16.
a lot of
Not
names.
3 hours.
I don't want this to be, and that is one of them. That, the Lusitania, and the...
Matt just says no. I just took a 9mm as my gun.
That's
Just a
fine.
common
Don't care.
handgun.
9mm at the time?
Did they have
Yeah,
that
just
one?
9mm
Yeah, they did
revolver.
have 9mm at the time. I think.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
See, that
it's
makes-
listed as common.
That makes my gun feel very old.
Yeah, you've got a
Um,
Webley 46 caliber.
Your boat.
Well, it's a good starter pistol too.
Your boat is the Laurentides.
Laurentides.
Never mentioned that.
What line?
No, he never said that.
It is a British Registry Atlantic Run passenger ship.
No, he did say that.
It doesn't say
Yeah.
what line.
What do you mean, what line?
Like
Like
the
what
Red
the
Star line.
company.
What was the line?
Is it a Carnival cruise?
What's the color of
Don't
it?
eat
There
any
is
food
no
if it is.
What are you doing? This
I was just wondering what the line
There's no line. Okay, so Scott.
Yes?
We're going to go ahead and get into the actual.
Okay.
Scott,
Yes.
Captain Wilkerson.
the night before your arrival in London, let's discuss your dreams.
Oh, no. Is this post throwing the
Yes.
thing
Which,
away?
by the way, the last episode was named Giving Knowledge to the Deep Ones.
well played, sir.
You find yourself dreaming, and you find yourself on a an African plane. Feels very familiar to you. You're used to this.
Absolutely.
The wind's blowing. You can feel it. It feels a little surreal. You realize you're probably dreaming. It doesn't feel quite normal, but you have that in your mind as you're going through this. And as you take a couple of steps forward, you know that feeling of when you jump in space from those steps. The off in the distance, you see some trees, and they get closer very quickly. You take another step,
Okay.
they get closer again quickly. You take a third step, and you're right in front of them. And as you're looking at them, you hear something very quiet, a little off, and you turn to go look and see
Like
what's
something in the brush or something.
off to your left.
Okay.
So you turn to look at it, and again you jump quickly, and you see yourself in front of you. You see some men around a fire, and it's suddenly dark. Wasn't before.
Okay. Like native guide
Yes.
type men? Okay.
Well, not
not guides,
but
but
native
natives.
to Africa. They
Absolutely.
are clearly African. Speaking in a language that you're not super familiar with, but it tells you you're somewhere in the Kenya region, like in that general area. It gives you you're familiar enough, but you can't tell quite what they're saying. But it's clear that they're performing some sort of ritual.
Clear? Okay.
And then they stop and look at you.
Well, that's
And
not
as
good.
they do, you feel yourself pulled forward till you're standing maybe 30 feet from the fire, and above it you see something.
I don't want to look.
You see a humanoid figure,
Okay.
and that's a loosely defined humanoid.
It's got two arms, two legs beyond
long,
that.
long arms, ending claws, and as you look up it, you see wings behind it. And then as you look on its face, the red eyes burn into your skull, and its bulbous green head ends in tentacles where its mouth would be.
So is this like, this is not the Australian bad guy?
And you
thing.
hear,
Maybe it is.
and
I
you
don't know.
hear, Cthulhu, Cthulhu, and you're awake. Roll your sanity.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Alright, remind me how this works. I gotta roll under it?
Yes. So whatever your current slash puts you down to, so you've lost.
Correct.
You're down 2, so whatever that next number is.
Correct.
73.
73.
21.
21. Made it.
Okay. Roll the d10.
Oh, that's not good. 2.
That is.
That is. I hope.
You lose 1.
Yes. Yeah, but I don't like this.
However,
Still
you
on-
are left with this feeling you don't want to do that in pen. You don't ever
Oh,
want to do
that's.
that in
I
pen.
thought this was one of those pencils that you
No.
stuff it in from the back.
No,
Sorry.
no. You don't ever want to do that
Yeah,
in pen.
no. Sanity loss in pen is a bad thing. I get you.
That's just betting against yourself, really. But you're left with this image, and literally it's burned into your mind. Like if you've ever looked at a light and then closed your eyes, you can still see
Oh,
it.
yeah.
It's burned.
That's.
And it's not even the whole figure, it's those eyes and the tentacles hanging down below it. Just burned into your mind. And you obviously wake up startled. You're in a cold sweat.
Oh, yeah.
You feel a little dirty. And I'm not talking like, oh, I probably ought to take a shower. I mean, like,
Scrub.
Yeah.
The skin won't come off. Yeah.
give me an idea roll.
I don't like this game anymore. It's not night. Not on a night like tonight. No,
Well,
this is.
you don't have anything in occult besides base, do you?
No, I made an occult roll at one point. I need to be able to find where the O's are on my sheet.
It is all alphabetical.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I only have the base. I thought I
Okay.
made an occult.
Go ahead and
roll.
give me an idea roll.
Okay.
Top right corner.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there. Sorry, I'm gonna get my glasses shortly. Made it. My hat.
As you're laying there and you're getting ready to like stand up and scrub and scrub and scrub, you get that again. You get that creeped out feeling that causes the sanity loss, and you get that feeling like you're safe in bed when you realize that's not the case. You're not unsafe in bed, but you're not only safe in bed. It doesn't matter where you go. You know that feeling. So when you wake up from a bad nightmare and you're like, I gotta stay in bed. This is the only place
I'm
I
here. This is no. There's
you,
none of that.
you have that feeling and you're like, well, that's probably not the case. I'm probably fine. And just as you're about to put your foot on the ground, the horn to tell you that that land has been sighted and you're coming towards the docks goes off.
All right.
It also might be a good idea to talk to someone occult about what you saw, with occult knowledge about what you saw. That's the other part of your idea.
Well, hello,
So-
Professor.
So,
Are you sure you
you're
don't want
all-
to talk about Botticello?
You are all woken by the horn, the steam horn, alerting you to the fact that the ship is pulling into the dock, or getting close to pulling into the dock. From what you can gather from the crew, it's going to be probably another hour to get it there, to get it lined up, and everything. But you're almost there, so this is the point where I assume everyone starts packing their things, grabbing their passports, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anything else you guys want to do? Nothing? Okay, well,
I want to.
I want to go kill the guy.
I'm gonna go
that took
find the
horn.
professor.
all right, so Shirley, you want to go do what?
Kill the guy that took the
Okay,
horn.
so that's not an option. So you want to go talk to Scott?
That is an
Wilkerson,
option, but-
Bang! Everybody, let's get out of here.
Wilkerson,
No
you
more
want,
horn.
Wilkerson, you want to go talk to the professor?
Yes, I'm going to find my way to the professor's
Are you
cat.
going to pack prior to leaving your room?
I'm going to load myself for bear because I feel unclean and unsafe. And then
Are you going to pack your stuff and leave it so that the
porters can get
the
it?
porters can get it? Or are you just
I
gonna
want to
grab-
talk to him first.
That's fine. I just wanted to get an idea.
Professor?
I will open my door.
Professor?
Obviously, in the middle of packing with all the crap everywhere.
I need to speak to you, sir.
Is it important?
Very, very much so, sir.
All right, come in.
I've had a bit of a... I'm not sure exactly how to quantify this. I've had a bad dream.
Would you like some more milk?
Please don't patronize me. It was in Kenya, or the area around it, surrounding the plains. There are grasslands, you see, where the natives can. Anyhow, there was a stone circle. There was fire. There was chanting. There was a large man-type figure above the fire with blazing red eyes and the
Drool?
no tentacles, and they chanted Cthulhu. It was. Do you know anything of this?
Does any of this ring bells from
Did
the
you
books?
pick up Cthulhu Mythos?
Yes.
You can roll that, and then if you fail that, we'll talk about Cola.
I'm probably gonna fail.
That's fine.
Yes, I failed.
Okay, go ahead and roll the Cola.
The hell was annoying? Oh, you're doing
It's his,
electronic
it's
dice.
his fake dice.
This is
So,
cheating dice.
do you have Cthulhu Mythos?
I don't think
Did
so.
you read your book?
Cheating dice.
Look in, it's alphabetical. It starts with a C. It's the only thing without a box next to it. So down a couple more with your finger. There you go.
Oh yes, I do.
You can roll that if you'd like. Go ahead. I mean, you might as well.
Is that going to bone me?
No, nothing will hurt you if you fail this. Nothing from the roll. Stop and back up. Nothing about this roll will harm you.
Okay,
I got
thank you.
not one.
On a cult.
No.
Yeah, no. Oh, failed that
No,
miserably. That was
Cthulhu
horrible.
Mythos.
So,
That was a cult. Okay.
Professor, what he has described to you, you've heard of. It reminds you of the Sandbat conversation you had with Crawley, which you probably missed out on, like the connection there, because it's not really.
Is there anything in the books that we have that I could point him towards to kind of like reference what he's talking about?
You
I'm
can
not
have
looking
him
at
read more of them,
Look at the
but
books.
No, I mean, like, is there any kind of like,
Uh-uh.
is there anything specifically in the books, like a description or a picture or a drawing or anything like that?
no.
Giant man bat. No, don't freak me out.
Not specifically, no. You know what he saw. Give me another occult roll.
Best.
Okay. You know what he saw doesn't make a lot of sense. Unless what he took in from Crowley subconsciously got planted.
Mm-hmm.
What he saw, he shouldn't have ever dreamed of. This is a very specific vision.
Yeah. Well, Captain Wilkerson, it sounds sort of like you're having dreams based on half overheard knowledge.
Oh, what do you mean?
I mean, we've been talking to people about bat gods. And
Oh no, that conversation is not. This was different. It was real. It was. Should we perhaps talk to the heretic killer, or the Botticello, the crazy man?
provided his cane's not in the room.
But yes, precisely, because I don't necessarily even want to bring this up to him for the fact that he will smite me because I've had demon visions in my head, or at least attempt to bash my skull in with that cursed stick. If we could keep
If we
this
do,
between
if you do
us.
talk to him, I want to be in the room.
Oh, that and probably Weldy
Well,
and a
just
few
so,
armed
just so I
guards.
can make sure that he's not leading you down a path.
What sort of path?
Well, no, he might provide you with half knowledge that I could stop check.
Oh, very good, very good. I still don't trust him.
I don't think anybody does.
Mr.
So-
Weld. Sorry, I'm going to cut you guys off for a second.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Mr. Weld, what are you doing? Just packing? Anything specific?
Yes, and one of the questions I have is how long were we planning on being here? Because I don't recall that.
I don't know that there's been a plan made.
So would we have, like, our luggage would be a traveling trunk, I imagine?
Yeah. Yes.
So large.
Yeah.
Steam trunk.
I'm going to have a satchel
Okay.
as well that I carry with me that's going to have the books that are currently... So we've traded off the books. I don't remember who has what. I'm pretty sure that right now... I finished the Narcotic manuscript and traded that to someone.
Okay.
And I think I'm reading Life as a God, unless anyone states otherwise. So I would have...
I'm still walking around with our bag.
Isn't
of
that the one that I've got?
I think that's the one you had. So
And when I handed it to you or traded it off to you, did he?
we haven't run that scene, so we should probably talk
Yeah.
about it.
So
Okay.
it's we'll just assume right now that
We haven't
you
traded
haven't
the books.
traded them yet.
Sure. So I'll have the book in my satchel. I'll have a couple of, like, various herbs and occulty ritual items like salt and things like that I might have.
Okay.
And there are various teas and herbal teas that I like. And then I've got, I've basically kind of jury-rigged kind of extra pockets in my big billowy sleeves for the lion paws.
Okay.
So I can basically carry them with me without anyone kind of really seeing it.
Okay.
And so I basically make sure everything's packed. I pack everything myself,
Okay.
so I know where everything kind of is. And then
Do you leave it for the porter?
I do make an arrangement with the porter, too.
And then are you going to go kind of watch it? Have you been to London before?
Yes.
Okay. So are you going to watch the ship come into the Southampton docks, or are you going to grab breakfast? Where at from then?
I'm unsettled. I will be on the bow of the ship watching us go in.
Okay.
Does anyone here get seasickness?
No.
Just checking.
I would, but no.
I know you would. That's why I asked.
John, or I'm sorry, Mr. Byrne. Mr. Byrne. What are you doing?
Well, I would have considerably less stuff to pack than my former Canadian officer, but I would have packed, and I would too find myself, strapped as with all my guns available to me, and watching the ship come in, because I haven't been. This is only my second time out of the country.
Okay.
So seeing us pull into the harbor is kind of a big deal for me.
Yeah, it was very much a different pull into the harbor last time.
Yeah. And just I'm contemplating everything that's going on, and trying to figure out exactly. I mean, I know why we're here, because someone tried to kill us, or at least one of us. And I assume if they had succeeded with one, they would have continued on to the whole group. But to me, this was, aside from the fact they stopped in London before going to Egypt, this seems like a minor stop. And I'm wondering what we're going to actually learn here that's of importance.
So are you going to be at the front of the ship? And
Yeah.
Probably notice well, but
Best.
will you approach him or just kind of keep your distance and thoughtful?
I imagine I would have been up earlier and ready to go, since my stuff's more mundane.
Okay.
So I would imagine, if Weld approaches me, I'll of course be cordial and as friendly as I would be. But,
So when you hit the front of the ship, Mr. Burns is already there, clearly deep in thought. Do you leave him to it, or do you try and strike up a conversation?
I don't say anything, but I come up and I offer him, flip open a cigarette case and some nice tobacco.
then I'll partake.
But
Just
otherwise,
nod, thank you.
I'm content to
Okay.
smoke and then maybe do some meditations in silence.
Okay. Mr. Botticello.
I'm going to pack everything up. I'll make sure the book is in one of my jacket pockets.
Okay.
I am going to have my shoulder holstered gun,
Okay.
and concealed.
Concealed it?
Concealed.
Concealed. Okay.
I think I said concealed. I'm going to take
Okay.
my
Keep going.
ukulele.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to limp out leaning on it, as I always do. I'm going to
Okay.
make sure I go up top, because I have never been out of America in my life, so this is definitely a first experience.
So do you go where the best view is? to kind of catch a glimpse of the docks and the other ships.
I am going to go that way, but if I spot him, I'm going to walk towards him to start with.
Okay. So you see
Him who?
Yeah.
Mr. Burn.
You see
The guy I'm pointing at.
You see Weld and Burn kind of quiet, just silence, standing, smoking. You see a few other people out. They don't seem to be having a conversation. They both seem to be off in their own head space. Do you head over to
I do.
interrupt that? Okay, go ahead.
Mr. Burn, I hate to bother you.
Oh no, of course. Good morning.
I know between the states that there is a problem with packing firearms. What kind of trouble will we get into for...
You can roll law.
Yay.
If either one of you has it,
Do we have to have it, or can I try just
you have to
blind
have
luck?
it. Okay.
So,
No.
okay. No trouble at all?
I think we should consult with perhaps the native among our group when he makes his appearance.
I've had this mental image of Wilkerson getting off the boat
If
with like
he's-
8 pistols, 2 shotguns,
So-
a rifle.
If you see
He's
him,
like,
could you send
"Right,
him
what?
We'll make sure we have that conversation.
Okay, and then I'm going to go to the best vantage point to see that.
So
When it's out,
are you
throw
going to do
Yeah.
anything specific besides try and find a way to murder the
Oh God.
Foghorn guy?
I'll get up and I'll pack my own things, and I mean, I don't think I have very much, so I'll probably have 2 like saddlebags.
You
or
probably
something.
have brought a trunk. It was probably gave you a trunk. And you probably packed like the 2 changes of your clothes and that dress because you're not even happy.
Yeah.
So-
my dress. So, but I want to take it with me. Like
The dress.
I want to take the trunk with me. I'm not leaving my stuff in my room. I don't let other people take care of my stuff.
So as you're like you pack all your stuff and you like start to drag it out, like one of the porters comes by, a proper English man. Miss, we take care of these things.
No, I think I can take care of my own things. Thank you.
We have been employed by your benefactor to take care of the 6 of you and take all of these.
My benefactor.
Yeah, Mr. Weld.
Oh. Well,
There's nowhere for you to take this, and though you
we're
are,
getting ready to get off the ship. I can tell you that. So
we
I'll
have
take
at least half an hour before
That's not very
we dock.
long.
And then, are you going to carry this large trunk all by yourself to?
No, I got fellas that will help me.
Right, but those fellows, as you say, have employed myself and the rest of the staff to handle these things. It's what we do. I wouldn't.
They can't see how you're looking at me.
I wouldn't.
Look of confusion and trying not to
ride
misstep.
up. I wouldn't ride your horse. I wouldn't expect you to take my job from me.
Well, since you put it that way, should I just
Wow, that
leave
worked.
this in my room?
Yeah, leave it right by the door. We'll take care of it.
I don't feel very comfortable doing this.
Oh, I'm sure you've locked it, correct? There's nothing we can go through here. We will take your goods down.
Jiggle the lock to
Yeah.
make sure it's locked.
Yeah, we'll take your goods down to the truck that will take them
String
to the
wire.
hotel that you have arranged,
Tip
and
it across the lock.
nothing amiss will happen.
All right.
Thank you.
And
So
then I go because this is the first time I've ever been on a boat.
you're heading over towards where Jesse is, looking at all the stuff, or where
Yeah.
Botticello is.
I'm looking at all the stuff and going to the best vantage point that I can get.
Okay.
And I won't necessarily talk to anybody because I'm excited.
So the boat pulls in, kind of docks. You guys want to finish your conversation, Mr. Wilkerson?
So I don't necessarily want to be left alone with him either. I would want
I
you
don't
to
blame
be
you.
there, and it would have to be at high noon and preferably in the sunlight without any sort of candles or any. don't want
Cows
to-
strung up on rope.
Precisely. I want to avoid that again. I didn't even think of that. That, given the light of my dream, this is completely. How to proceed? And I am visibly shaken.
I would place it in the form of a hypothetical that you came across in the book.
Oh, I don't even want to speak of the book. I
No-
need to give that to
no,
someone
just-
else. Well, I think wanted to talk.
You don't
read
wanna
it or whatever. I don't
Tell
want to
Mr.
look at it again.
Botticello that you're having dreams of demons.
Quite right.
You might wake up with a
stick in my head.
Stick in your head.
Do you think we should discuss this before we disembark or after?
Well, I think we should look at the books and see if there's any mention of what you described.
I'll have to pack my things, I'm sure.
I'll take care of that. You don't need to read the books.
Then,
If we can't find anything there, then we can talk to Mr. Botticello to see if there's anything he knows about.
okay. Well, Mr. Weldhead, I believe, said something about wanting to look at this book next. Did you want to give that to him, or should I deliver it to him myself?
I can take care of it. I can skim it in the meantime and look for any pertinent information.
Fair enough. I'm going to take out I've wrapped it in I don't want to touch it. I don't want to come. I'm like 2 layers of parchment paper. Like, I don't want to
No skin to
pick
skin
it up by the
contact.
strings so that I don't even have to touch the paper that's touching the book.
I do mean skin, by the way. Like the books that I've got. I'm basically just going to like go
So,
through them.
He's looking for the
As
movie
he
pictures.
hands you the picture, the book,
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's clearly been changed.
it's
not-
wrapped up.
It's not the same weight.
It's the different weight. It's a different thickness.
All right.
I mean, he's a professor. He would notice. So
There's no hair on it.
there's no.
Yeah, that little things,
So-
details.
So it's clearly he's wrapped it in paper, but there's something missing there.
Well, he's one of the gun-toting maniacs.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to bring it up.
And by
to
one
his
of you mean
face.
everybody but you, right?
Thank you.
I don't think you see
Well,
Weld
no.
with a gun yet.
Well,
I do have one.
Hey, when
hasn't
me
seen
and
him.
Weld ran across the bad situation, he whipped out the kung fu and took care of business. So I got no problem with that.
Real quick.
I've never
He
shot
didn't
anybody.
like. He didn't,
You killed the first person we met!
With a stick.
Not with the gun.
It's not gun toting.
With a
Weld
stick!
didn't jump out a window and kneecap somebody.
He just jumped and fell out and twisted an ankle.
Weld just went ha-cha, and the guy was unconscious on the floor. I can deal with that. It's we have a problem. Where's my shotgun? That these 4 do. That I'm not really involved in.
So you just take the book and don't say a word.
Yeah, like you're gonna obviously like see me kind of like
I look away.
like like that professor's scowl of disapproval
I look away.
as
I'm
the
like, oh my.
the
look at
awareness
oh,
that
is
something's been
crown
done to the
folding?
book comes into my head.
Do you unwrap it in front of him
No.
to see what's happened? Okay.
He's obviously having issues. I'm not
Are you
sure.
heading back to your room?
Yes.
Okay.
I'd be like, well, thank you, Professor. We will. If you find anything through skimming, please do make a note, and then perhaps we would have to talk to Mr. Botticello.
And what was the name you said? They called it
Cthulhu.
Cthulhu. K-A.
Could have been
Okay.
either K, a C, hard Q. Cthulhu. It could be a. I don't know. They didn't write it down.
I just want to have an idea of what I'm looking for.
Thank you, sir.
So you head back to your room.
Yes.
You are now alone. Do you-
Yeah, I'll unwrap it and be like, son of a...
he's done a very good job. I mean, it's clear that he cut it off.
He
but it
still
was well
assaulted
done.
the book.
Yes, but it was well handled. So it's not like he just butchered the thing, like some people might have. But it has been changed.
Glances at Jesse.
Like I'm going to take a moment to inspect for anything like damage to the spine.
Nope.
Anything like that.
Nope. This is what he does. Skins animals.
Right.
It's just another kind of animal.
Yeah. It was actually. I was very happy with the results.
So the damage to the book is he just skinned the book?
Yeah, essentially. So
Is
it
there still a
probably
pelt?
no.
essentially, or-
No. I mean,
Leather.
no. This was the outside. That was it. It's that, and then the regular binding.
So
Right.
basically,
Well, and then I replaced it with like good
You
leather.
said that he replaced
That's
it.
right. It has been hastily replaced with leather. Not the greatest. I mean, it was taken off really
not
well, but
cured and hardened
yeah,
and shaped leather.
you might need to get this rebound. Shouldn't be a big deal.
Great.
Whatever.
So,
it was evil.
you go, Wilkerson. You go back to your room and pack.
Yep.
Mr. Wentworth, Professor Wentworth, you finish packing.
I'm going to pack.
Mhm.
What's the weather like in London? Like what time of year?
Cold and rainy. It is
Oh,
right.
it's delicious.
I'm going to wear a
January-
greatcoat and I'm going to
January-
carry the books on me.
January 28th.
Also, I'm going to
I don't
pack.
think I wore cold enough
It's
outfits.
January 28th, so it's freezy ass cold.
Oh, it's delicious.
in the best tradition of D&D, I'm going to pack all the unidentified loot into a box that will not leave my sight.
Okay.
Porters be damned.
Okay.
It's
that's
coming
fine.
with me.
So
So
you
the
got
Power Man Sierra, the bowl with all the
The headband is
Power
going
Power
to...
Man
you probably end up
Tiara.
having to put it in a couple of bags
Well, no, I'm going to put it in like a trunk.
that you're going to carry with you.
Well, like,
Like a
So you have a
suitcase.
briefcase, or
yeah.
Okay.
Because I've got the robes, the shawl, the mask, the bowl, the scepter, and the headband.
Okay.
You could dress
And
up
some
like a
books.
princess.
Yeah.
I assume the books are staying with you as well.
No, yeah, great coat because it's called out, and I'll just put those in the pockets.
Okay. So you all pack. You leave your stuff for the porters that you aren't carrying with you specifically.
Yeah, my clothes and crap they can deal with.
I do have my passport on me.
Yes, obviously. I assume everyone packed their passport on their person.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm going to try to meet the group before we land and get off the ship.
Okay.
How is everyone this morning?
doing well.
Weldy? Corporal?
Rather well. But
Sir?
I do have a question for you.
Hold
Yes.
on. Everyone besides Professor Wentworth and Captain Wilkerson can roll psychology. You're still visibly shaken.
Oh, absolutely.
I was going to say,
You're
why can't I
fine.
roll psychology?
I'm fine.
One.
I get a 1.
Oh.
John, did you get that as well?
Yes, I got
Oh, clever.
one under.
So don't forget to mark that so for something you can train up
Yeah.
later. Also, you need to mark Colt as well. You did succeed at that. So the two of you notice that Captain Wilkerson is clearly shaken. He's putting on a good show, but it's not right.
I'm way too excited by the view.
Yeah.
I will offer him a cigarette.
So go ahead.
Oh, certainly. Well,
Anyway,
begin chain smoking.
So,
Yes.
Captain Wilkerson.
Certainly.
I have never left the country before. My bigger
that's
problem is
unfortunate.
this. I point to my handgun that is
What is the
underneath
problem?
my arm. Will there be a
loaded,
problem?
correct?
If we get, yes. Will there be a problem if we get patted down by the law?
You have another one.
No, that's the only one I've got.
You should have more.
I've got steak.
Oh, I forgot about the stick for a moment. Sorry.
This is London. You need more than one gun.
Would you also know where I could buy a copper disc of about a foot diameter circle?
Why?
What do you need that for?
Well, I found an interesting ritual.
I don't. I know. No. Give me the gun. Give me the gun. I'll put it in my trunk, and it won't get through customs. Give me the gun.
It's fine.
No, it will be taken from you. You wanted to get through customs or not? I'll put it in my bag. I'll give it back to you when we get through. I have licensing and the signatures for the whole thing. Give me the gun.
You just said it wasn't a problem before.
Certainly, that was before you started. Give me the gun, please.
The ritual.
Well, they meant I have another one of those.
I,
Thank you, sir.
just a little
The
bit.
ritual will conceal us.
I don't need.
From
Please, just.
things in
Oh,
wells.
you can stop the. I don't.
Did you see what was in the well?
I turn and walk away. So, Professor, how are you this morning?
Sounds like
Why?
everything.
He seems perfectly fine. I mean, what's wrong?
It seemed everything's fine. Just we'll worry
he
about
needs-
your
Can I tell now?
stuff later.
The
So for those of you that did not succeed, so this is mostly Miss McCree and Mr. Botticello, it's clear that something about you and a gun and learning more spells has unnerved him.
Okay, so I know not to push the
Yeah.
subject too much
Yeah.
further.
I follow the captain.
Mr.
So-
Botticello, what did you do this time?
I didn't mean to. I didn't know. He's...
What?
Yeah,
You have no vocabulary.
Mr. Wentworth. I need to talk with you a moment.
Well, go ahead.
So,
Go ahead,
About
Weld.
what?
Weld.
well,
So, even before Mr. Botticello made his request, it didn't seem quite right. If you don't mind my saying.
if we could step aside.
Of course, of course.
Yes, we step out of what I might think to be earshot range of Copper Disc Shillelagh Ritual Boy.
Okay,
We
are
go
you going
inside.
with them?
We go into
Oh,
the...
certainly.
No, they didn't invite me now.
I
so-
don't want...
Mr. Weld and Captain Wilkerson head inside. Go ahead.
Yes, I had a dream last night. It was quite startling. There's a group of natives in the southeastern region that they had a fire and a large thing above the fire with gleaming red eyes and the tentacles that they were chanting to it of Cthulhu.
I look quite pale when you say that.
Can you roll Cthulhu Mythos for me?
Yes, and I would also like to point out that earlier when we were speaking with the Australian professor, I completed an occult roll and had heard of at least the Cult of Cthulhu at some point.
Yeah, you're familiar with the name. That doesn't mean you're familiar with the imagery. So
No,
yeah,
but hearing the name means...
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
I
absolutely.
recognize something of it. So this is for cults, yes?
no, this is for Cthulhu Mythos. You should have a little.
I do. Oh, and I make that.
Oh, right.
Top 5.
And it had longer arms, and it was...
You know what
looked real.
you know what he's speaking of is probably some sort of summon or contact to Cthulhu. Cthulhu is your basic evil elder deity thing, is what you know. It has connections to the Sandbats. You pieced that all together before, but what he has described to you sounds like an incomplete ritual and sounds not contrived, but badly falsified. Not necessarily by him, but what he was seeing was incomplete. So either he doesn't know, he clearly doesn't know a ritual that has anything to do with it, and that might be why, or something along those lines.
But why was he dreaming of it?
It's a good question, isn't it?
And what, and I finished the cigarette. and
Well,
snuffed
all the
it
blood
out.
has drained entirely from my face
Okay.
when you say that.
The... I know this sounds irrational. It looked at me. It was a dream, but it wasn't... It was... I was having the dream, and it was dreamlike, in a way, and then it looked at me in the dream. It was real. Of course, if we could keep this from Mr. Botticello...
I nod.
That would...
I nod.
Are you okay? You
Oh.
seem rather pale.
First, as far as dreams go, you know I have access to different traditions than perhaps you are learned of. And in my understanding and my reckonings, dreams are not things to be taken lightly. They may have information, they may have facets of knowledge gleaned from other realms and other places. So I would not treat this lightly.
Previously, I would have perhaps not appreciated that insight and background as much as I do this morning, you know.
Yes. And as for the abomination that you made, I have heard of it, and it is terrible. And something to be avoided.
I think we should, but
Yes.
the minute that we bring it up, someone will want to run in and look at it closely or try to hit it with his stick.
Well, if you tried to hit with the stick, you would be eaten. I laugh, but it's a really sad and horrible laugh.
And I look completely dismayed,
Yes.
like for the first time that the thought of him being eaten might actually have been a bad thing.
Yeah. And
Scott, check your phone. As you're talking about it, looking into you get a very distinct feeling. That should be described in the message that I sent you.
Oh, great. That's great. It gets better.
The more you talk about it, the more real it feels.
Okay, good.
The more lasting it is.
It's not as though it merely looked at me. It looked almost into me. The more actually that I go over it in the discussion with you, it's... I don't want to say that it is as though it is still watching. It's just that it's... So I do believe I need some air.
Yes.
We could step back onto the...
Mr. Botticello wanted to talk to Professor Wentworth.
Yes, Professor Whitworth. The book that I studied, it is in French.
Yes.
However, there were 2 rituals in this book.
Oh, really?
Yes. I can teach you one of them.
Does it require the sacrifice of large farm
It doesn't.
animals?
All it requires is a small bronze disc with a 3-legged swastika. What you do is you stand upon this, you say the words, and things that were in the well will not see you.
Does this sound at all like the copper disc that we have from the...
It's a copper bowl.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I could use the bottom half
And,
of
that,
that. but that was-
and
Is the imagery at all the same?
hold on. That is not a copper bowl. That is a bowl made of copper, but is not copper.
yeah.
So copper-ish bowl.
Did I say copper? I meant bronze anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, bronze.
Does any of the
So
iconography
he's going
sound
to
the
get an
same?
aluminum pie plate. And we're going to be fucked. Oh, that was our one. Sorry.
That's your one.
Sorry.
Jeez. No, it does not
But
sound.
there were 2 rituals in this. At one time I was asked, what might send me over the edge?
Yes.
The other ritual might.
And that is...
It is contacting other things and asking them questions.
And that's in that book right there?
It is in this book right
Can I
here.
have that, please?
I'd be interested in trading it with another book of yours
Okay.
that were from the collection of things we just received.
Yes.
Yes, I don't
assume.
plan on destroying it. I
I would hope not.
as I said, unfortunately, it is in French. I wasn't able to
I just want to
translate
get any
it.
book with contacting demons out of your hands.
I attempted to translate it, and unfortunately, I wasn't capable of doing it.
That's a shame.
Or else I would. So, what books do you have?
Oh my god.
You want to buy a book? Got a book. You want a book? Get interested in a book? It's like a Rolex watch dealer in New York City.
They're literally like on me, so I'm like, well.
What book do you have?
Oh, I've got his.
I say, what's that thing
Mine
wrapped?
is a god.
In parchment
What's
paper?
that one
Oh,
wrapped
no.
in paper?
I've got People of the Monolith.
Life is a God.
Life is
a God.
And then the Dark Sect of Africa.
Yeah, Africa's
And that
Dark
should be it.
Sect.
Because
Yeah,
Weld
and
has
then-
one and Jesse has one. You have a total of 5 books.
The one you're talking about is sections of the
Yeah, and I have the other one also that he
And-
doesn't know I have.
the
I have
The
the
Conic
manuscripts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what was the other? Because I have the one he handed
Life
me
is
also.
God, People of the Monolith, and
People.
Africa's Dark Sect.
So I have the Africa's Dark Sex. Is that the other one I have then?
No, you have another book altogether that was not on that list.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
I
you
am
have-
interested in Life as a God.
You actually have 2 other books that are
Wow,
not
wow.
on that list.
Is that wrapped in paper? Did you gift wrap that for me?
Yes.
Actually, he's already opened it. Did you rewrap it up, or is it just?
Yeah.
So do you 2 exchange books?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Please,
And
please mark which books you guys have. I'm not
I
keeping
actually
track
have
of that.
been.
I'm not keeping track of it. That ain't happening. So, you 2 exchange books. Is there anything
how
more?
long would it take for me to transcribe the ritual?
Transcribe. You'd
in
have to have the
English.
book. It'd probably take... Oh, in English? It could take...
How could I explain it to him so he could do it also?
Oh, you'd
without
have to,
actually
you'd have
passing the
to.
ritual?
You'd actually have to perform the ritual.
I really don't want to do that. Well, when the necessity arises, watch me closely. I don't want to have to repeat this.
Well,
thing
he
more
learned it
than
from the
once.
book, right?
Yeah, if
Yes.
but can you read French?
Yes.
Oh, then you're fine.
Oh, you can read French?
Yes,
I-
that's the one
Oh.
shared language.
Ah,
Professor from Harvard.
yes, yes.
So, you guys finish up your conversation. And it's at about that point that the boat shudders a little bit as it comes to a dead stop.
We're at the dock.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still
thank God. Not like,
preparations.
no, you're in the middle of the bay.
There's still
God.
preparations to be done, but there are a lot of people
Okay.
flooding out onto the deck. A lot of crew are moving around to get things ready. Bags are being taken, and so on and so forth.
I walk right up to Botticello,
Sure.
and you'll fire him, sir. That's not a request.
I can't pass it up right now. I'm sorry. We're here to help you with a revenge thing. I think
Yes.
I'll need it.
I will
Wait.
give it back to you on the other side.
Better question: are you openly holding the book he gave me?
No, I would have slipped it in there.
Okay.
Scott,
Twist, twist, twist.
God, all the
Scott, are you openly asking for the gun in front of a lot of people?
No, I'm like,
Okay.
yes, hand us over.
Just do it.
Yeah, I'll hand it over.
I slide it into my coat, the bag, slide it into one of my bags.
Okay.
And it's the bag with all the guns in it.
Yeah.
Or the trunk with
rattle,
all the
rattle.
guns in it.
So, you're kind of caught up in the bustle for a few. It doesn't allow for a lot of talk. As you get down off of the ship, there's a car waiting. You've made arrangements at one of London's nice hotels, which I'm not familiar with.
Do they customs us before?
They do a brief customs. This is 1920s, so customs is passport. Oh, yeah, you're American. That's great. Or in your case, welcome back, sir. I mean, it's a really light. They still look over stuff, but this isn't like
They're not gonna pack
declare
it
all the
on.
bananas you brought.
Are you well dressed?
Yeah.
Welcome.
And a lot of it does have to do with your credit rating. Captain Wilkerson, they know you're British, so on and so forth. You're connected to nobility. And then the professor from Harvard and the rich guy from Boston, they don't have a problem. The three other people might have a problem, but the professor from Boston vouches for them immediately. They're like, oh, have fun.
Okay.
So, yes.
Just what about my family is that they were involved in shipping at various points, so they would possibly be known internationally. The Welsh
Yeah.
name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, so it's just it's quickly and easily you just go through.
Okay, I was just my only curiosity was yes, you get to wherever it is you're going, and your bag will be there in 4 days.
No,
it's like,
whoa. Your bags will be at your hotel before you are.
All right, good.
Most likely.
Okay.
So you guys arrive at the hotel and get ushered into, getting everything set up. They tell you have 6 rooms. You're taking one of the floors. Like that is the 6 rooms take up that floor. So you're welcome to go to your rooms at any time. Let's talk about where you're headed next. Where are you headed next? What leads do you have?
The Penhew Foundation.
What else?
That's where I'm going.
I think that's the only reason we came to England. I'm with him.
If you guys remember, Jonah. Yes, go ahead. I didn't see your
over
hand.
the
Go
5
ahead.
people.
Oh, sorry.
The Carlisle expedition stayed here for a while and made and like reported their planned expedition, is what you told us in the
Yes.
beginning. My intention, besides handling the Penhew Foundation, is to find out what information they left behind here, so that I might better be able to track their
And the
progress.
The Penhew Foundation would have that information.
Oh, they're the ones who hold it.
because it was Sir Aubrey Penhew who went on.
That's
Yes.
right. Now I'm with. Okay.
So yeah, just kind
So
of
that's where I was at in my head. So
So what other leads? If you'll remember, Jonah Kensington mentioned Mickey Mahoney at the Scoop might have some information for you. He's
I don't remember it. You may
a
have said it, but I don't remember it.
I may not have said it, but it's something that he said he had leads. I'm just going to give you the lead.
Okay.
So so Mickey Mahoney at the Scoop might have some information. He's one of the newspaper guys here. He has that kind of those kinds of connections. So
What kind of information is that?
what other weird things might be going on here that might have connections
To
to
Carlisle?
the cult of the Bloody Tongue,
Okay.
to the Penhew Foundation, because clearly they're involved somehow and not just trying to murder Captain Wilkerson. So, but with that, now that you guys have a good idea of some idea of where you're going, that'll do us tonight for Nerds Domain Presents Mask of Nyarlathotep. As always, you can find us on Facebook, on Twitter. You can go over to Libsyn and check out our website, our little website there that holds all of our podcasts. We have comics up on nerdsdom.com. They go up every week when the show goes up. They are drawn by John and then edited together by me and put words to paper. So those are fun. You should check those out. And we will talk to you guys real soon.